We're talking Philly sports.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
And New York sports.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
And the unique history and relationship between the two cities. With Mike Carr.
You're so money and you don't even know it.
And Adam Turkel.
I agree. Nobody's madder about than I am. They're going to say that, and I'm going to look at them and say, "Hi, you're right."
This is the Battle for I-95 podcast, starting now.
All right, welcome to the Battle for I-95 podcast. I don't like this, Mike. And this is episode 22, brought to you by Easy Moving. Moving's hard enough. Do it the easy way. Servicing Fairfield, Connecticut, with removal in New York. I am one half of your team, Adam the Turkel. My partner is Mike Carr. And before we say hello to everybody, we just want to send best wishes to our good friend and my good personal friend, Frankie Ravioli, who's experienced a bad health thing that I won't disclose on air, but he's not doing great. And Frankie, I love you and have the strength to pull through, my friend.
Yep.
That's all I can really say about it. I hope that Frankie's joining us again soon. And I'm going to keep in the good faith that he will be. And he'll be his normal asshole self.
Mm-hmm.
But, right now, for me doing this show today, Frankie's going through what he's going through. It's a little trying, a little difficult.
Yeah, it's not easy. It wasn't easy, especially when you told me. It's very, very sudden.
Yeah, and ironically, Thursday he had communicated with me because we were going to do the pod Friday,
right?
And Frankie was going to stand in for you. And then I didn't hear from him Friday, and he called out from work. And you saw the text I sent. Yeah. Frankie, you called out, don't know what we're doing today. And I ended up doing the solo episode. They had a Turk solo vehicle for a week. And then I found out the following day what happened. And again, he's a great guy. His son, Nick, is great. He's one of the nicest human beings I've ever encountered in my life. And it sucks that he's going through it. And come back, Frank. We're going to see you on this show. I'm going to be calling you a degenerate again. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we'll get to business at hand. Mike, I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, I want to remind you of something. I was going to cut the clip, but I decided not to because I am merciful. Am I not merciful? I am merciful. Yeah. I remember Mike said to me on 3 different occasions over the course of the summer when my words were, quote, beware of the Mets.
Yep.
Your words were, quote, I'm not. The Mets will Met.
The Mets will Met.
Unquote. Well, the Mets met it all over your face.
Au contraire, my friend. They might have had it. They met it eventually.
Yeah. Oh, where'd you go, Mike? What the hell are we doing here? Oh, my God. Really?
What the Mets eventually met it, So, yes, we have our World Series is set between the former Brooklyn Dodgers, now the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Bronx Bombers.
What team is there in the dance? Say it again, Mike. I want to hear it.
The New York Yankees are there, and the Phillies. They shit the bed as you know what most of us were watching. We were watching, and
I'm going to tell you what.
That game 1 was.
I'm going to give you some credit, Mike. Time out. I'm going to give your team a little credit here. I think it was less your team shit the bed and more that the Mets were just the luckiest, hottest team.
They were very hot.
And, when you're hot, luck goes your way too. You know what I mean? The little things that won't happen when you're having bad luck happen. You know what I'm saying? And they had some luck even getting to that series, beating Milwaukee the way they did. The Mets, I think against the Dodgers, I think quite honestly, they just ran out of gas. You know, I guess the Dodgers kind of smoked them, and even the Mets pushed them to 6.
Yeah.
Even with some of those games being ugly. So, yeah, all right, your Phillies had some issues, and I think we knew them from when we were talking about them during the season, right?
And it's the same issues that they've had forever.
They had the bullpen issues, clutch hitting issues, guys like Bryce.
Hitting, guys in scoring position, and just not putting bat on ball and trying to score the run. And, so since the Phillies have been eliminated, of course, the algorithm going across my social feeds is a lot of the Phillies winning the 93 NLCS against the Braves. And even then, those guys were just sticking the bat out and driving in runs, just hitting to get hits, not trying to put the ball in the seats. And you're not going to win that way. You're just not going to win that way. That's why guys have more hits than they do home runs.
I'm going to give you something funny, and it's a very simple reason why the Yankees are in the World Series. And it didn't be the reason that I thought it was going to be. It's someone that I wanted benched. It's someone who can't run anymore, who is only a DH. And the only reason the Yankees are in the World Series, in my eyes, is Giancarlo Stanton. The man killed it in October. Killed it. Absolutely saved their asses.
Cut his workload in half.
Dude, I mean, you want to talk about showing up when it counts. I mean, he's taking that Mr. October right out of Reggie Jackson's mouth and putting it in his pocket. And as a matter of fact, he still has a series to go. And if he hits one more home run, and you know how illustrious Yankee history is, he will have the most home runs in a single Yankee postseason in the history of the franchise.
Wow.
So Stanton has been unconscious. What Juan Soto did in the last game against Cleveland was exactly why the Yankees traded for him.
Right.
Did you watch that last at-bat, Mike?
I did not.
Oh, my God. Let me tell you. You want to talk about thing of beauty? And I'm not saying this as a Yankee fan. If he would have been doing that in Washington, let's say he stayed in Washington and he never came to the Yankees, I would have been just as marveled. He worked one of the maybe the best closer in the game, and worked him and fouled pitches off. And you just saw him shaking his head like after every swing, looking at the guy like, yeah, I got you. I'm getting there. You keep throwing me pitches, you're going to screw it up. And sure enough, the guy threw him a high fastball. Pow! And the Yankees are in the World Series.
And you know what? And that wasn't a cakewalk like it was for the Dodgers. I mean, listen, the Mets fought, and I'll give them their credit. There were a couple blowouts in that series, but that Yankees-Guardians
every game was close.
Series was a good series.
It was only 5 games, but every game was a nail biter.
Yeah. I mean, you guys were up. What was it? And I think it was game 4. You were up 6-2.
We could have swept them. That's the game they came back and won. Yeah, they tied it. Yeah,
was like, wow.
But now the Yankees go forward, and tomorrow the World Series starts Friday in L.A. Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and all these guys with their $10 trillion of contracts, right? And the funny thing is the Yankees used to be considered the evil empire buying everything, right?
Yeah.
And the Yankees have only the 3rd highest payroll in baseball now, with the Dodgers and the Mets being higher. And the Dodgers are a favorite, not a huge favorite, but a favorite.
It's going to be a good series.
I think it's going to be a great series, actually. I think this is going to be a stress burger for me. It's going to be agita. Both teams can hit. But the Yankees are going to win the World Series. And I'm going to tell you why.
Why are they going to win the World Series?
Because the Yankees have the better pitching. They have the better starting pitching, and they have by far, not even close, the better bullpen. Not even close. And you saw what the Yankees did to a good Cleveland bullpen, who was supposed to be the best bullpen in baseball. And the Yankees put up runs on them like it was their God-given right to do so. So I think it's going to be a tough series, 6 or 7. And I think the Yankees going to find the way to number 28 because I don't think the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers can hit like all hell.
Yeah.
You know, that lineup they brutalized the Mets at times during that series. They will bludgeon a pitcher that has a bad day. If Rodon comes out,
one guy doesn't show up.
Right. If your guy doesn't show up, they're going to make him pay. And if one of your bullpen guys is off, he's going to give up a 5 spot and all that stuff. So that's where, they become problematic. But, I'm a Yankee fan, but just looking at what I always say is the crux of playoff baseball, which is pitching. Good pitching always beats good hitting. I see it every time, right? Yankees, I think, were better than the Red Sox when they blew the series, but Kurt Schilling outpitched them 3 times. What I'm saying? That's the way it goes down. When your team won its World Series back in the day, it wasn't because of Mike Schmidt. It was because of Steve Carlton. Tug McGraw. It was because of those guys.
Yeah.
When you guys won it in 2008, it was because of Halladay and all those guys that you had.
We didn't have Halladay.
But it was your pitching staff.
Hamels, you had.
Hamels had a career year that year. He was great that year.
Brett Myers was hitting. Hitting.
Yeah.
Joe Blanton, who was just for the fourth guy, was just lights out. And then you had a 46-year-old Jamie Moyer just mowing through guys.
Throwing up those floating meatballs that nobody could hit. I remember that.
Throwing 6,
I think his fastball was like 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, and at 70 pitches, they're like,
that's it.
Good job. You held him for 4 innings. Good job.
Yep. So I always believe that superior pitching wins. Okay, so game 1, Gerrit Cole. If Gerrit Cole shows up, the Yankees should win. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Doesn't mean they're going to. It means I think they should. Right? I'm going to expect a split in LA. I'm going to expect it to be 1-1 going back to New York. And that's when the Yankees got to put the gas on. They got to win at least 2 or 3 of those games. One of those games, you'll probably get Carlos Rodon. One of those games, you'll probably get Luis Heel. Nestor Cortez is going to make the roster to take care of some lefties in a tight spot. And, you take your shots. You got to win your games.
They have Flattery going.
And he got lit up last time he pitched by the Mets.
7.04 ERA in the playoffs.
That's right. And the JV team lit him up, not the varsity. Okay? The JV team. That's right. That's right. The Mets are the New York JV team. They still are. That hasn't changed. So,
and again, I told you they would met. It wasn't against the Phillies.
They didn't bet against the Phillies. Yeah.
No. And it was just like, and not only the pitching, because God, you got a guy who's throwing wild and just keeping them out there. Yeah, we suck again. And you know what the thing is too? Now it's so now we got to go out and get Soto. Oh yeah, let's just keep running that bill up. Let's just go try to make an all-star team. You have a bunch of guys that are just they're hitting not for average. They don't care. They want to get home runs every time. And then
Mike, I don't think that's the player's fault. I think that's the nature of baseball's fault now.
It might be the nature of baseball.
Yeah, because baseball tells these guys about launch angles and exit velos.
That's why these teams are coming out of nowhere now.
Right.
When the Phillies did it, they go to the World Series and they lose it 6 games to, at that time, the powerhouse.
Right.
Houston. The next time, they go to the NLCS and they forget how to do it.
Right.
And who does it? The number 16. Who?
Right. We've had a lot of that. There's been a lot of wild cards.
The little engine that could.
You realize this is the first time in the last 8 years that both number 1 seeds made it to the World Series?
8 years ago.
First time in 8 years. That's what I saw.
Who was that World Series?
I don't know. That would be back
probably the Astros.
16. So I think it's Astros and I want to say Astros and Dodgers maybe. Didn't the Astros beat the Dodgers in one?
They might have. It might have been that 2016.
I'm not sure. Look it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You sure? Maybe it was 17 because it was the Cubs and the Guardians.
Cubs and Indians at the time. So it couldn't have been that right. That was the Cubs World Series. No, I think the Cubs were the 1 seed, weren't they? Weren't they the best team in baseball that year?
We're gonna look it up. Let's see.
I think the Indians. I don't think the Indians were though.
I'm being asked to donate again.
Yeah, of course. But you know what the constant is in baseball, though, Mike.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
You can say that.
Yankees win.
You listen.
Thank God I'm a Yankee
You can have
fan.
it.
And we'll talk about why, thank God, I'm a Yankee fan after. Because God knows I don't have any other joy in sports other than the Yankees, you know?
You got the Knicks.
Oh, well, we'll see. We'll see. We still got to find out about that, you know.
Now, so the then Indians were the 2 seed.
Okay, so it might be 17 when the Astros beat the
17.
Yankees in the league's championship series. So it might be 17 then, not 16.
Yeah. 2017.
I know 17 the Astros won the series.
Yeah, no, Astros were 2.
So were the Yankees 1? No, the Yankees weren't 1.
Cleveland was number 1 again.
Huh, the Indians sneaking in there with a couple of number 1s, huh?
Let's go to 18. That's the Boston. That's the Red Sox. Red Sox were 1. LA. Those facts were wrong, my guy.
All right, well, whatever. Let's put it this way: it's been a long time since the 2 number 1 teams were in the World Series. We'll put it that way. 2 best records.
It's been a long time.
And I think I saw that this is the first time since 1975 that the 2 best teams with the 2 presumptive MVPs are playing against each other, with Ohtani and Judge.
Okay.
And I think back then it was 75 had to be someone from the Big Red Machine. So Pete Rose, maybe either Rose or Morgan was probably one of them, and the other one was on the Red Sox, which I believe was Carlton Fisk. So
was he the guy? No,
Carlton Fisk was the guy that did this on the home run.
Gotcha.
Trying to keep it from going
I was
foul.
Say, who was the, what do you call it, the first baseman?
On what, the Red Sox back then?
Yeah, he blew it against the Mets.
Oh, that was Buckner. That's in the 80s. This was before his time. This is before Bill Buckner. Yeah. The last
time the Mets didn't met.
This was the Carl Yastrzemski, Jim Rice, the real tough Red Sox of the 70s, who were no joke. You know, the Yankees hated them. I knew them very, very well. Very well. So, all right. So, Yankees head to the World Series, playing the Dodgers. It should be a stressful series for me, a fun series for everyone that's not a fan of either team. But I'm hoping the Yankees come home with number 28 because God knows I need it with all my poor sports luck. And the NBA season started now, Mike. It started last night.
Yes, it did.
The Knicks, of course, going into the season have 2 injuries already. I mean, Precious Achiuwa is already out. Will be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks, which means he's out at least 2 months. They pick up Shamet to try to, offset some of the 3-point shooting they're going to miss from DiVincenzo. And what does he do? He dislocates his shoulder, and he's going to be gone for months. So the Knicks, are a little short on the bench, which last year was a strength, was the bench. The bench ended up becoming the starters when everybody got hurt. The bench was important last year. But they go to Boston last night in a game I knew they were going to get smoked in because the Celtics not only are a really, really good fucking team, right?
Fuck Boston. Fuck Boston.
That's right. Fuck Boston. But not only are they a really good team, but with very few exceptions, that team has been together for the most part for the last 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
They all know their roles with each other. They know how to play with each other.
Ball.
They know how to move the ball with each other. And then to top it off, they shot over 50% from 3. And at one point, was shooting 65%.
I was going to say, didn't they? They almost broke the team
They
record.
almost broke the record for single game 3-pointers, right? So, the Knicks kind of ran into a buzzsaw. Now, the things I did like, right? Jalen Brunson's going to be Jalen Brunson. You could see that Karl Anthony Towns is trying to still figure out his way of playing with Brunson, and that's going to take a little while. You got basically two-fifths of the team is new on the starting lineup. Yep. You got Bridges, who's in a little bit of a shooting funk, got better at the end of the game. You got Towns, who's got to figure out kind of where his role is, where he fits in with the way the Knicks do things. And that's going to take 15 games at least. I'm not expecting the Knicks to get a 1 seed here. I wouldn't be shocked if they're like 10-9 after 19 games, still trying to figure it out. But everybody forgets that when the Miami Heat got their big three, LeBron, Chris Bosh, way back in the day, they were 500 through the first 15 games.
They were awful.
They
couldn't get out of their own way.
For the same reason the Knicks looked the way they looked last night.
Yeah,
it's a new dynamic. Build the
chemistry.
Right. The chemistry has to come over. And I don't want to hear about fucking preseason, all right? It's not the same. It's not the same as when you get into your regular season games and your regular sets and you're shortening up your rotations. And now you're only playing 8 or 9 guys as opposed to the preseason where you're playing everybody, right? So I'm not – last night doesn't faze me with the Knicks. I expect them to have a very good year. Health permitting, which already has a couple of little challenges. And speaking of health permitting.
Oh, my God.
The 76ers open up.
Oh.
And already.
The Kansas Sixers?
Already. No Embiid.
And
no George.
Just Maxey against the world. I give this kid a lot of credit, man.
He's a damn good player, Mike.
And he's just taking it. He's like, hey, man, I got to do what I got to do. He's still going to try to put up 15 plus, but whether he can be the star and carry the team, it's the first game of the season.
Mike, I think your team and my team are in very similar situations. We're very dependent on the health of our superstars.
True, but most of your superstars are under the age of 30.
I think the oldest one is Towns at 31.
At 31. Embiid's over 30. George over 30.
George is over 60 at this point. I mean, the guy's old. Yeah.
Drummond's over 30, and he's a backup. Everybody's over 30. So we're really just like I said, they're the Kansas Sixers as far as I'm concerned. They wanted to move, and you know who owns the team too, right?
Who owns the team?
The guy who owns the Commanders.
Oh, that's right. I was reading.
He has no Philly interest whatsoever.
Wait, I was actually reading about that whole potential move to Camden thing, which, by the way, is a very realistic possibility.
Now they approved. So this is one of the oldest teams in the league. We do have a history too. It runs very deep. The country started here. All right.
Yeah, but
we're not letting our basketball team move.
But there's reasons why I could see it happening. Okay,
I actually saw it happening.
I'm going to tell you why it still can, even though Philadelphia seems to be ready to approve the building of the Center City Arena.
It was approved.
All right, but did you
see the mayor's not that dumb.
But did you see the conditions?
No. I mean, like I did.
Whoa! Wait till you hear this. Only 40% of their attendance is allowed to drive to games. How are you dictating that?
This is all the shit I knew was going to happen.
And where they're building the arena, they're basically knocking down Chinatown to build the arena.
Oh, and yeah, I knew that.
The residents have already said, "Oh, fuck you!" No, you know.
The people on this show do not all agree that all Chinese people sound like that.
But the point, even though it got approved by the city,
it did. Yes, it got approved by the mayor.
I don't know if it's gonna. I still don't know if it's gonna go through.
Listen, unless people are tying themselves to the buildings, which
you can't listen. You can't force them to sell.
You can't fight City Hall,
but you can't force them to sell either.
You can't fight City Hall.
All it takes is one little square block in there to say, "I'm not selling," and the whole plan is ruined. And I noticed from experience because the Jets got approved many moons ago for the West Side Stadium in Manhattan.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, by the city. And it ended up getting shot down because people refused to sell.
You do know the difference between Manhattan and Chinatown, Philadelphia, right?
You do know that a city is a city, and
Yeah,
city
but-
politics are city politics. So,
Yeah, but some of those politicians probably were living in Manhattan's like, I'm not selling my condo.
no, this was on the west side, Mike. They were going to be knocking down a train yard. It wasn't even like,
Oh, really?
yeah, it wasn't even like yours where they're going to be knocking down actual businesses and buildings. This is the old train yard that's on the west side of Manhattan. And they were going to, but everybody freaked out because of the traffic, right? So Manhattan, as you know, is already a clusterfuck. And they didn't want to make the clusterfuck even more clusterfucky. And all the residents were having a heart attack about it and worried about vendors and bums and everything else. And where the homeless, it just became a mess to where it never went through. And then the Jets end up chipping in for the shithole that they play in now with the Giants in Jersey instead of having their own place. So while the city approved the Sixer arena, believe me, Camden's going to wait and see because their incentives to the Sixers are humongous. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a Sixers fan, right?
Right.
As we know.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for a couple of reasons. Number one, where they would be putting the arena, you could literally spit on Philadelphia from it.
You do all the time.
It's literally right across the fucking bridge.
I heard you went to a Backstreet Boys concert just to spit on Philadelphia.
Yeah, step by step.
That's
ooh, yeah, but it's literally right across the water. It's easily accessible from Philadelphia with mass transit from the train coming across the bridge.
Yes.
Much easier to park, easier to drive.
And their training facilities right there.
The training facility is already there, so there's a lot of things about it that I thought made sense when I read about it. And I think that Philadelphia is being a little pig-headed. I get they don't want to lose the revenue, right?
Right.
But you heard the conditions the Sixers want on this arena. They want to own the arena. It's theirs. They don't want to play in the well. Well, guess what? There's not going to be many other events other than the Sixers going on in there because they're not knocking the well down.
No.
That's still going to be there.
They've been redoing it constantly.
That's what I'm saying.
For like
the
the
concerts
past
are
10
still
years.
going to be there. The Flyers are still going to be there. All right, I'm sure that the center, but now the Center City Arena is going to be literally right next to the convention center too. There's just things about it that don't make sense to me, Mike.
No, and completely. And there is a building in Philadelphia right off the highway that is owned by the city already and not in use. It's the old Philadelphia Police Headquarters.
Oh, I know where that building is. Okay. Yeah.
The Roundhouse.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Okay. Knock that down. You're not, it's not like they're trying to build a 20,000 seat arena. It's like 17 to 17,000 people they want in this.
Right.
thing.
They want a bunch of luxury boxes and all that shit. They want all the modern anemones.
Exactly. And that's what I've been completely against this. If you look on Facebook, any social media, I've done nothing but talk shit about this arena going in where they want it at.
I gotta tell you, Mike, it's a terrible fucking location.
Terrible. And there's one reason why they want to do it, and it's to charge more and to kick the middle class guy out.
Right.
You can't drive down there 40%. So now you got to park. What do you think the parking lots are going to do? They're not going to keep it at $20.
Oh, it's going to be like
for 2 hours.
You're going to
charge
pay
you
$40, $50. Yeah, easy.
Right. And where you could have had at Wells Fargo, it was like $25. It was cheaper.
Yeah.
Or an Eagles game, $60, but then again, that's 8 games.
Hey, listen, I can tell you as a New Yorker who goes down there to go see my teams there, because it's much more affordable. Why do you think I go see Knick games in Philadelphia instead of going to Madison Square Garden? You think it's because I don't want to go to New York? No, Maybe. It's because it's almost triple the fucking price. I can't do it. I'm not that rich. I went to a playoff game last year, the famous takeover game, right?
Yeah. All right.
I was at that game last year. I had a beautiful club box, which from our days with football, we're very familiar with the club boxes.
Yes.
I had great club box seats. me, my wife, my son. The tickets were under $300 each for a playoff game. Same tickets in Madison Square Garden, $1,200 each.
Right, and that's what they want to do here.
And that's what they want to do in this arena.
They want to do it here, and that, you know why? It's because they don't want the guy sitting up front giving a finger to Brunson, and
Let's do it for him. Let's give the finger.
They want to take the attitude out of Philadelphia. They want.
I don't know why, because listen, if anything, okay, as a New York fan, I love to hate Philadelphia because the city rivalry between the two is fun. It is. It's fun. Now, New York has become more of a. They've already turned a lot of the New York shit more antiseptic. When they switched stadiums from old Yankee Stadium to new Yankee Stadium, it's nice. On the outside, it looks like the old place, but it's not. You know, right now, World Series tickets, right now, to get in Yankee Stadium for games 3, 4, and 5, standing room. How much do you think it is?
Standing room?
Standing room.
1,500.
You're close. Yeah, 12 and change. To stand there all game.
The whole game.
Bro.
All 3 hours.
You can't even put your ass in the seat.
Nope, better not. You'll be arrested.
So, like the quote-unquote legend seats in Yankee Stadium, no average fan can go sit in those. You know, those were the fans that used to make the place shake during playoff games.
Right.
You know, those are the fans that intimidated other teams because they were so close to them yelling in their ear that it was a distraction. Now you got Joe Blow, fucking company owner, giving the tickets to his buddy on a business deal because it's a better option than banging his wife to let him go to the game. That way he can get the business deal done. Right? And this guy's not a fan. He's like a tourist. He's going for the ambiance of saying, I went to a Yankee World Series game.
Right.
You know,
right. You still also have the season ticket holder that gets it for the reduced price too. But yeah, they're not sitting in those primo seats.
They're up in the upper decks paying $1,500 to get a nosebleed.
Well,
I mean, when you're used to sitting in the 100 sections. You know what I'm saying? So it feels like they're trying to do the same thing with your arena, with your basketball team.
Exactly what they're doing.
That's been going on with New York sports, where they're phasing out the average fan, and they want the corporates.
You've been a coach too, obviously. This is how we know each other, right? How awesome was it when you had a real home field advantage?
Oh, it's a huge difference.
Whether you had 50 people there or 1,000 people there,
right?
It was like, wow, it's working.
I remember back with the Bulldogs when we had the ASI Panther game in the Wells Fargo Center, and we had about 5,000 fans in there for our team. And it is just an enormous energy boost.
It's an energy boost.
It's an enormous energy boost when you could feel the crowd and you could feel the roar and everything going on, as opposed to Joe Blow corporate guy who's going to sit there on his cell phone, you know, calling his Gumar or whatever the fuck he's doing, and not even paying attention to the game.
I mean, you saw the one Sixers game last year. The guy was sleeping during the game.
Yeah,
he's passed out.
Well, I think that's just Philadelphia fans in general when it comes to your basketball team.
Well, he was in the lower seats, so wasn't me affording it.
So basketball's underway.
Yeah.
Your team and my team are both chasing the Celtics. The Celtics looked phenomenal last night. There's no way to put it. But they're not going to shoot 65% from three all year. It's not going to go that well all year. And that's just getting going. Let's talk football, Mike.
Okay.
Oh, my God. So I'm going to start with the burning building known as the New York Jets. The building that is on fire. It's a blazing inferno, full on fire. And there's Woody Johnson with his little garden hose trying to put it out. Right? So since we last spoke, this is what's happened. Robert Sala's been fired.
Yeah. Let's get on that. We have plenty of time. How happy were you?
I'm very happy, except for one thing.
What's that?
The
Double check's
timing.
not there.
It needed to happen at the end of last season. That
Okay.
way you could have hired Mike Vrabel or Harbaugh, dare I say, who went to the Chargers. That way you could have went after a true program builder to take this team that has all this talent. And I will still stand by this. Talent-wise, the Jets now trading for Devontae Adams. Hassan Reddick is now in the building. They are
He wasn't going to give up all that money.
Bro, they're a top 5 roster that's 2-5 because they're rudderless, because there's no foundation. And that's what you see happening here. So Robert Saleh gets fired 5-6 months too late, right? They elevate the defensive coordinator, Ulbrich, who seems like a good football guy. But to me, it's really apples and apples in this sense. He's not helping with the offense. He's a defensive guy. So not much is changing except for the play caller, right? The Jets still can't block. The line still stinks. They still couldn't stop you from running the ball. They can't stop you from running the ball, right? If I hand it off to Mike, Mike's going to get 6 yards. That's how bad the
I would anyway.
You're a little slow, fat, and white. I don't know about that.
I roll.
You roll through them, yeah, literally, huh? But, here they are. They're trying to, and I get it. They're all in right now. You have to keep trying. All right, trade for Adams. You have to do it. Give Reddick the money. Okay, you have to do it. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the reality that I've come to, Mike. Until Woody Johnson either A, sells the team, B, goes back to being a diplomat and gets sent back to fucking England, or C, dies, nothing's going to change. Because the problem starts with Woody Johnson. And there's no more damning statements than what Bill Belichick said on the McAfee show. Bill Belichick said Woody's going to be Woody. That's an insult. He's basically saying the Jets suck because the owner can't get out of his own way.
Hey, the Jets going through it in Dallas too.
And listen, the general manager, right? Everyone, including me, gave Joe Douglas a lot of credit. He made the trade that got rid of Adams and got, fleeced Seattle for the draft picks. And, he got Rodgers signed, and he had the good draft with Breece Hall and Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson all in one draft. It looked great. Joe Douglas is being great. Well, you're going to agree with this, Mike. In my eyes, the three most important things on a football team. 1, the quarterback. 2, the head coach. 3, the left tackle. Do you disagree with that?
Your tackle, I don't disagree with. Just it doesn't matter. Both those tackles, you need 2 tackles.
All right, but whatever the case is, head
you need
coach,
2 tackles nowadays.
quarterback, and offensive tackle.
So, yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Small little thing on the tackle. It used to be the left tackle with the right-handed guy because that was his blind side.
That was his blind side, right?
Well, now everybody picked up on that.
And whatever. Stop being fucking argumentative.
Well, you're saying a left tackle. I'm saying
the point is the 3 most important things in football that we agree on are the head coach, the quarterback, and the guy that protects the quarterback. Right?
I might even be able to beat the head coach. I mean, Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl.
Head coach is very important. So check it out. Joe Douglas.
Okay.
What I consider the 3 most important things to building your team's foundation.
Okay.
Drafted Zach Wilson, Mekhi Becton, right? And hired Robert Saleh with a rookie offensive coordinator.
That
fired. You're fired.
That was the killer.
Bro, you're fired. The 3 most important things on the team, and you wet the bed on all 3 of them. You're fired. You're out. He's out at the end of this year, Mike. There's no way Woody can keep him unless the Jets have a miraculous turnaround and go 8-2 in their last 10 games, right? To finish 10-7 and make the playoffs, and then maybe win a playoff game. Unless that happens, everybody's gone. Everybody's gone.
Well, you have to. You have to implode it.
And what are you supposed to do?
I just said you have to implode it. You have to it's got to go. you for one thing, you're not obviously even if Rodgers wants to come back the following year, you're still got to start making plans for the future.
Well, what about the line that doesn't defend him? The guy's getting a shit kicked out. Everyone wants to know why hasn't Aaron Rodgers been as good?
You got to start making plans
because he's
for the
like
future.
a child being beaten over the head with a bat all the time. And listen, I don't love Rodgers' mouth or his bullshit, right? But I know how good the guy is as a player. And every fucking play, he's besieged. Every play, there's pressure. Every play. Every play. There is not one play where I see Rodgers drop back, clean pocket, can make his read, go to his secondary and make a throw. Every time he's going back, there's someone coming. He's got to move his feet. He's got to get out of the way. He's got to try to get it downfield. I don't care how great you are, whether you're 40 or you're 25. If that's the type of time you're allotted on a regular basis, you're going to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
You're going to throw picks.
Yeah.
And in
because
homage,
that hurts.
And in homage to our friend Frank, the Steelers, after going down 15-6, said, they're the Jets, and took them out to the woodshed, took out the fucking bat, tied the Jets down to the rack, and just beat them repeatedly for 31 unanswered points. And it was well-deserved.
Yeah.
I will say that as a Jet fan. They deserved it. They deserved every bit of that beatdown. They played like a team that should be beaten down.
By Russell Wilson, too.
And it's funny because the Jets had all the momentum, and Rodgers throws the ball to Garrett Wilson. It pops off his hands. By the way, Garrett Wilson stinks this year. I'm going to start with that, too. Mr. Future Superstar fucking receiver can't catch a goddamn pass at any given time now. And it pops up in the air, and it gets run back for 6. And they show the sideline. And you can see the looks on the face already. They already lost. It's over already. They're winning. 15-12. And the game's over. Because everybody on the sideline said, here we go again. You know how that is on a football team, Mike.
Yep. It's quicksand.
It's quicksand.
When you hear, here we go again, you've already lost one guy. The second guy's already in the middle of going. Followed by the third guy, then something goes wrong, the fourth, fifth, sixth. Next thing you know, there's 70 guys on your sideline that are just like...
that are expecting to lose now. Everyone's expecting it. That's right. So the Jets are a mess. They get New England this week, which they'll win because I can put my dogs on the field with me a quarterback and you a running back, and we should beat New England. New England's that bad, right? So they should get the win. They should go to 3-5 and blah, blah, blah. But I got no faith, Mike, because I'm realizing now that until Woody Jones...
October's meant for World Series.
World Series and Knicks, here I am. Fuck football. It's done for me. But let's talk about more.
All right.
This is, Frankie Steelers. They go to Russell Wilson. And
they're starting to create an identity, and this is the reason why Tomlin is such a good coach.
I hate them. I hate them. They're always good, no matter who you put on the fucking team. Jesus Christ.
He figures it the fuck out. He goes, all right, old school mentality. We'll run the ball. And we have a great defense.
And play defense. Yeah.
And then when they're going 3 and out because they got to pass the ball every single down, we will stack points.
That's right.
Because we're on their side of the 50 all game.
That's right. And that's exactly what they did to the Jets, by the way.
I know.
Yeah. And let's talk about your team for a second.
Yeah.
Here we go. The Eagles. Now, I would hope that you would fly against that crappy Giant team, which you did.
We did. Yeah. And Saquon got his Jimmy Butler moment. You picked him over me?
Dude, I got to tell you, he's been better than I thought he would be.
Holy God. You know what? He's better than I thought he was, too. But you know what that does to me as an Eagles fan, 2, a football fan, and 3, a football coach? I'm petrified. When is that leg going to snap?
If he goes down, that's a wrap.
I have high hopes for this kid Shipley. Not like the kid's going the next, what was that kid's name from the Browns? Peyton Hillis.
Oh,
you know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
He's not Christian McCaffrey. He's Will Shipley.
Right.
But the kid runs hard. He will run through the tackles. He's got some speed to go outside, and he catches the ball. We put him in at the end of the game, and it was just like, I kind of see why he doesn't get any carries.
Barkley's dynamic. He really is, man. I mean, and
it's night and day.
And I gave you guys shit for giving him the money you gave him, and right now he looks like the best bargain in football.
The cool thing about him too was he was about to approach his career high.
I saw that,
and
he was like, "Let the young bulls eat, man. I'm good.
Let the young bucks eat."
Yep.
And that was good. That was cool on him to say, "Hey, you know what? I'll tap out. We got the game."
He did enough embarrassing his old organization, sticking it up there.
Oh my God, he ran. The fact that he was just running straight through them like they weren't there.
I'm going to tell you what Barkley did, right? This is what Barkley did. Barkley walked into his old house, right? He took a stick. He wrapped it up in a bunch of tape. He tightened it up. He pushed the Giants by the back down over the table. He took the stick and shoved it straight up their ass until they couldn't breathe. Literally, this is what he did. I mean, their fans are irate. I think the owner's irate too because the owner didn't want to let him go.
No.
He trusted the GM. And the GM seems to look like a schmuck now. And Shane was seen as a guy that they can go with long-term, and Dable is a long-term coach.
Yep.
But boy, Shane is looking bad right now. He's the one that gave Daniel Jones the extension.
Gone.
He's the one that let Barkley go. And
these old Hard Knocks episodes are just hilarious.
Oh, it's not aging well at all.
It's not like a fine wine. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's not looking good at all. But your Eagles are, they're hanging in there, trying to keep up with Washington.
We are trying to build an identity. And
what is your team's identity, Mike? Speak to me.
We don't have one still. Even at 4-2, we don't have one. You have a running back that can run the ball 25 times a game, put 170 yards up, and next week we'll pass the ball 40 times for 110 yards and lose.
I think your identity has to be a running team that works.
We have to be a running team, but you have sources are saying the Eagles are in on Cooper Kupp.
I heard about that.
What would that really add? A dynamic. I mean, you have a former MVP. Yeah, you add a former MVP. I get it. The thing is, you kind of need depth at running back. You have Gainwell, who you're using 6-7 times a game.
Well, how can you use him more? I mean, Barkley's been so good. That if he says, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm rested. I'm ready to play," you got to keep him in. You have to.
And you want to win, you got to let Booby spin. I get it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to pull him out, and you just have to go with packages sometimes, I'm not saying don't give him the ball. I've always said 15 plus a game. Let him get his 100. Let him get towards his 100 every game, all purpose.
No, he is your team right now, Mike.
And he is, yep. Him and AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Because AJ Brown, I mean, there was one play that just disgusted me, and I'm not even a Giants fan. And it was 4th and 3. They threw the ball deep. I don't even know who number 44 on the Giants is. I just remember seeing the back of his jersey as AJ Brown didn't stop. He slowed down to catch the ball. And this guy slowed down with him and let him catch the ball.
Yep.
One of the top receivers in the league, you're going to let him dictate to you where he's going to go. And it almost felt fixed.
Well, I think football has been, the season in some ways is unwinding. I think in some ways the way we expected. The Chiefs are still undefeated.
And now
Motherfuckers.
got DeAndre Hopkins.
And now they get DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh, my God.
Right? So that's just going to open up Mahomes more to do more crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh just doing Steeler things. Lamar and the Ravens seem to have caught their breath. They're looking like one of the better teams in the league. Buffalo lost Stephon Diggs. No problem. Just keep chugging along.
Keep chugging along like nothing's wrong.
Dallas is a shit show, which I laugh at.
Oh, it is the second best comedy next to American politics.
It is really, it is bad.
Great.
The Lions beat the dog shit out of them.
And
The dog shit.
Do you hear what Jerry Jones said about Derrick Henry?
What'd he say?
How he wouldn't fit in the
I
system?
did hear that. Yeah. Yeah. He wouldn't fit in. Yeah.
He wouldn't fit
that's
in.
funny. I heard someone from the Jets. They said they would never sign a guy like Joe Montana. That would never work out. Yeah.
It would never, that wouldn't work out.
Yeah. What would you want him for?
Only a guy who basically ran the same type of offense. Oh, he wouldn't go.
And by the way, Derrick Henry is killing it with Baltimore now.
He's
Killing
only, my fantasy team is like 2-6 right now. And the only reason why we're even close every week is Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. He really has. And then you look at, the Commanders. It's amazing. I was just saying Joe Douglas, made the wrong picks with these guys. And the Commanders seem to get the right head coach and the right quarterback, and look how different they look.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
And they're getting better, Mike. They're getting better.
I know.
You're seeing it every week. They're getting better. They're getting more confident. Now, Daniels is hurt, and he's questionable for this week. And I really, I'm not saying this as a fan of any team or anything. I hope the young man is okay, because I hate to see someone on the trajectory that he's on get derailed because of injury like RG3 did. Yeah, you don't want to see that. That's not a way you want to beat someone. So I hope that Daniels will be okay over the course of time. Minnesota finally takes a loss in a tough game to the Lions. So Sam Darnold, the shine came off there a little bit, but it was a good game. Minnesota's a good team,
And the Niners are just losing everybody.
And the Niners just can't get out of their own fucking way, no matter what they do.
What did we say in the beginning of the season?
Yeah, that they were
due for the injury bug. They were due for a bad year.
They were due.
They can't keep dominating like this.
Right. They were due. And right now it looks like Seattle's starting to reap the reward of that.
Yep.
I thought the Rams would be better. They're not. The Cardinals are kind of stuck in the middle. I think they may be a 500 team at best. They'll ruin someone's season. They're the type of team that's going to ruin someone's season.
Yeah.
In the AFC, like I said, you got the Chiefs. With nobody else really in that division. I think that you're going to get Pittsburgh and the Ravens both in the playoffs. Buffalo's going to win the East. I think that's obvious. My Jets are shitting all over themselves. Mm-hmm. But the Jets can still get a wild card, because I think there's only really 5 or 6 teams in the AFC, and someone else has to get the last spot. Whether it's the Chargers, whether it's the Jets.
Somebody's got to be 7.
Someone's got to be number 7. So they're going to be alive for a while. I'm not going to act like the season's over, because, look, last year there was a 2-5 team that ended up winning a bunch of games and ended up winning 10 games and making some noise, and that was Green Bay. Oh, let's not forget about Green Bay, who we both thought weren't going to be very good. All of a sudden, they're 5-2. So the NFC seems a little more competitive than the AFC. It's starting to get in. I think your division really is interesting now, with the downfall of the Cowboys and the rise of the Commanders.
And with that, and because the presumed best team in the division still doesn't have an identity, it is officially the NFC dumpster fire.
Well, I think the Commanders have an identity.
Yeah, I said the Eagles don't.
Yeah, no. Well, you said the best team in the division.
I said the presumed best team in the division. Presumed. Meaning we presumed at the beginning of the year.
Well, and listen, the Eagles, they still should and better.
They're going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they better make the playoffs.
They're going to be in the playoffs. You need the home game. You need that home game, especially in that wild card game. So you have to win the division. You have to.
When do they play Washington?
I don't see them getting a bye. It's just not going to happen.
When do you play the Commanders?
When do we play the Commanders?
Yeah. Any idea?
I think in actually 2 weeks.
I will have that game circled. Because I think that's the day you're going to find out one or two things. You're either going to find out your team's identity that you're asking for, or you're going to find out the Commanders are the best team in the division.
Wow. You know what? They play them at the end of the season.
2 of the last 3 or some shit.
Yeah, hold on.
I love when the NFL does that. It's like the NFL knew.
There's one. Where's the other one? We didn't play them already.
Oh, did you barely beat them?
No, we didn't play them. Our first game against them was November 14th. We're here. And then our last game with them is December 22nd. Probably deciding the division.
Probably for the division.
And if it goes the way that it's going, where we're winning, nobody gets the bug. Could be for the number 2 spot.
As long as you have Barkley healthy, you're in the mix. I can't believe I'm saying this. If Barkley gets hurt, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Because your offense has become centered around him.
So, Coach, what do you do? How do you stop the Eagles?
Stop Barkley. I would literally decide that Jalen Hurts has to beat me. That there's no way I'm letting Saquon beat me.
He's gonna
I'm gonna pinch every gap. I'm gonna try to outnumber you on your strong side to keep him from running strong. And I'm gonna make you beat me with Jalen Hurts. That's how I would do it.
And it seems like that works both times.
Well, we're gonna find out, Mike.
Both times.
We're gonna find out.
I don't know that this just comes down seriously to bad coaching. I mean, there were times.
What is wrong with your coach, by the way? This guy's arguing with your fans.
Britney Spears.
And shaved his head.
Britney Spears.
When you're the head coach, you're supposed to be above the players, right?
Above.
You're supposed to be the authority figure, right? And it's like he's trying too hard to be one of them. Bro, you're not one of them. Nick Sirianni, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm telling you this as a head coach. You cannot be one of your players. Stop shaving your head and your balls and everything else you're doing to act like them. Stop talking to fans like they talk to fans and be a disciplinarian. Otherwise, when it counts, and it's going to count soon, you're not going to be able to hold water. That's the reality, Mike. You know it as well as I know it.
And you know what? He did another dumb thing but it was, I know why he did it. Because I've done the same thing before. He knew he was going to get fired for yelling at the people. So he brought his kids into the press conference. Like, look what you're throwing out in the street.
That's like a desperate move. That's desperation.
There's been a couple of bosses that I've had where I need to talk to you for a second. And I walk in with a picture of my kid like this. Look, you're
playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs.
You're not.
You kidding me?
Perry.
Playoffs.
You know, you're a family guy, family first. Bringing the kid in. Look, he's a human. He's a human. Look, he's a dad. No, you're not. You're the coach of the Philadelphia fucking Eagles.
Right.
And you're arguing with fans, which already shows you're weak.
Right, you're thin-skinned. We know that about you now.
You're weak.
We know people can get under your skin, Coach.
Yeah.
You're not what a coach is supposed to be, which is like a turtle with it rolling off your back like water.
My first question when he was weak, the Super Bowl, when he was crying during the national anthem, I went, all right, big spot. It's his second year here. He's a little emotional, but
not a good look.
Not a good look. Put up a great game. I thought that was well fought. That was one of the best Super Bowls.
In all honesty, the Eagles probably should have won the game.
And we should have won the game.
Yeah.
We did. Oh, well.
You got Mahomes.
Yeah, we got Mahomes, like a lot of people do.
Yep.
Then, yes, last year's downfall.
Where the team basically stopped playing for him for the last 6 weeks of the year.
Who did they stop playing for?
Him. Him.
They stopped playing for him.
And it was obvious. And you know what?
And it's the question
You
of what
recognize
was
this
going on behind closed doors.
As a coach, you recognize this shit. In that playoff game, they checked out.
Oh, yeah.
They checked out in that game.
Yeah.
As soon as they got behind, they gave up on him. They didn't fight the game. They didn't say, no, we're going to figure this out. They literally sat back and let themselves get taken out to the woodshed and beaten like dogs. It was terrible. I actually, as a New York fan, I was actually embarrassed for you. And
it happened.
That's hard to do.
Twice in 2 years or 3 years that happened.
Yeah, but last year was bad, Mike. Last year was bad.
Well, no, Brady did the same thing his first year.
Yeah. But last year was really like, that shit was so obvious that they quit on it.
Well, yeah, because we were a 10-1 team. You lost 6 straight.
And every week got worse. It didn't get fixed. It got worse.
Yeah, we were getting beat by, I think Arizona beat us. Like, it was, yeah, it wasn't
the
fun to
fucking
watch.
Giants beat you.
Yeah, but that happens every now and then.
You know what? No, not when you're trying to recover from a fucking free fall. When you're trying to recover from a free fall, you can't let that happen.
We were drowning at that point.
Oh, bro, you weren't drowning. You were already blue. It was already happened. Yeah, you were drowned. Not drowned in, drowned at that point.
Drowned.
Yeah, you were drowned. And the coach was all drowned, you know. But listen, I'm starting to agree with you. You know, I told you go a little easy on Sirianni. You got a good team, this and that. I'm starting to think he ain't it, Mike. I really.
He's not it. I don't think he's it.
He doesn't have that. Okay, so I try not to judge people by personality anymore, and I'm going to bring up Mike McDaniels quick from Miami, right?
Right.
And I've said about Mike McDaniels, he's only good because he has a quarterback. All his freaky little things, if that team starts losing, he's just going to look like another freak. What does Mike McDaniels look like right now?
Freak.
Because he doesn't have Tua. His hair looks like he belongs on Miami Vice. Looks like he's trying to hang out with the guys, and his team can't score points. And all of a sudden, he doesn't look like such a genius anymore. You know?
Yeah.
You know who the coaches I respect? The guys, for example, the Browns getting it done with Flacco last year. For example, Bill Parcells winning a Super Bowl with Jeff Hostetler, no matter who his quarterback was. For example, Nick Foles winning a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson. Those are guys I have respect for because
I give Doug. Listen, Doug does deserve some credit. I mean,
he deserves a lot of credit for that, Mike. You can't take it from him.
No, I was never one of the guys that really did. I like the bus balls because, you know, it was like it was a freak thing.
Though I must say, he's sure making Trevor Lawrence look terrible.
Yeah, right, exactly. And now, Shane Steichen's the one who, you know, called that. Blah blah blah. It's like, shut up. Doug Peterson and Howie made that team.
Don't forget, Foles went to Peterson, not Steichen, and said, "Let's do Philly." And Peterson's the one that said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah,
that's a coach's decision,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
And Doug would have still been an Eagle had he not had wanted to be the GM.
Yeah, you're right. That fucked him.
And that's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be the GM. He wanted to run the team.
How's that working out for him in Jacksonville now? Yeah,
right. True.
Yeah.
And presumably so. The only other 2 guys that have done that in my lifetime are Andy Reid and Chip Kelly.
Oh, you mean the only guys in your franchise?
In my franchise.
Bill Parcells did it. He was actually good at it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Bill Belichick actually stunk at it because he's not a good GM.
And Jim Johnson.
Jim Johnson was pretty good too, but he still had He still had Jerry Jones, who was the GM/owner. Like, he couldn't make a bottom line decision without Jones okaying it. You know?
Right.
Parcells had full control when he left the Patriots and went to the Jets, and he rebuilt them like that. That's when you know a guy knows his shit. Belichick had a great team. When they got rid of GM, made him the football czar, all of a sudden they weren't drafting so well, and New England started going downhill little by little. Yeah, they were still making a playoff. Yeah, they still got a Super Bowl because Brady was unbelievable. But then when Brady left to go to Tampa, New England didn't look good those 2 years without him. You know?
And they thought it was going to be Tom Brady 2.0 and Mac Jones. Look at this guy who's fat, out of shape. He can throw a football hard.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get him.
Yeah.
No, he's out of shape. He's not in shape. He's not ready to be in the NFL. You have to be in shape in the NFL. Also, when Brady got drafted, it was the 90s.
Well, no, yeah, but Brady didn't get drafted by Belichick. He got drafted by the GM that was there.
True.
You know, so I'm not even going to give Bill. I'm sure Bill had input. I'm sure Bill said, hey, I like this guy.
Yeah,
you know,
but he was also the 6th-round pick.
He was also a 6th-round pick. It's like they took him in the 2nd round.
Yeah, this wasn't like a big decision. They were just like, why don't we get Brady?
Well, we got to pick. He's like the best player on the board in the 6th round, so we'll grab him and see if he turns into anything. He only turned into the greatest quarterback ever.
The greatest quarterback. And
that's it.
Let's
talk about this week's games coming up, Mike. Minnesota Vikings at LA Rams. The Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite on the road in Los Angeles.
I'm going Vikings all day.
You know what? I'm going to disagree with you.
Are you?
Yeah, I am, because I think that the Vikings showed a little kink in the armor last week, and I think that Stafford is really, really good at dissecting defenses. I think he's going to recognize what the Lions did, and they're going to do the same shit. And I'm actually going to take the Rams and the points in this one.
Okay.
So we already disagree, Mike. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Well, let's do it. We got to get one here. Frank loves this one. Here we go. There you go. All right. Now we have the Tennessee Titans. Woo-hoo! Wow. Getting 11 in Detroit.
Shit.
That's a big number.
That's a big number. I'm going to take the Lions. I'll lay it at 11.
I'm going to agree with you because I think the Lions are really that good, and I think the Titans are that bad.
Titans are that bad.
Yeah. So I'm going to agree with you on that. Next, we got
the Eagles and the Bengals.
No, next we got Ravens and Browns.
Oh, you got Ravens and Browns on yours. What do you use?
I'm on DraftKings.
I'm on
Courtesy of this report by Turk is brought to you by DraftKings. I'm on DraftKings sports betting and casino app, and the Ravens are an 8.5-point favorite at Cleveland. Now, Watson gone for the year.
No Watson.
I think he was going to be gone for the year one way or another.
I did tell you.
Now he's physically gone for the year, which tells me
massage parlors are in trouble.
What tells me is that the Browns are going to get better.
You think so?
Yeah. I think he holds him back. I don't think his teammates like him.
Ooh.
I think it's a problem.
Okay.
I think Cleveland made the biggest contractual mistake in NFL history. I go that deep on it. I think Cleveland's going to be better. I think the Ravens are real good. Ravens are going to win the game. 8.5 is too much. I'm going to take Cleveland with the points.
I'm going to take the Ravens. I don't think that I don't know if they cover though.
Well, it's 8.5, so you taking the points or you giving the points, one or the other.
Yeah, I just don't think that they cover.
Yeah, well, that means you're taking Cleveland with the points, like I am then.
Yeah, no, I take the Ravens.
Yeah, no. What the fuck kind of answer is that?
How come we were saying before? Oh yeah, I think that they're going to win, but they're not going to cover.
But you got to make a choice. So you
all right, fine. I'm taking Cleveland and the points.
God damn, what the fuck?
You just want me to agree.
I'm just trying to fucking get you to be smart for once. You know, it's bad enough you root for Philadelphia team's not going so well already. You know, now we got the Green Bay Packers.
Oh boy,
4-point favorites at Doug Peterson's Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, they'll win by 10.
I got to take Green Bay too because
Green Bay.
I can't believe how bad Trevor Lawrence is.
Yeah,
I'm actually surprised he's this bad.
I'm surprised too. When I was watching him at Clemson, I was like, wow, man, he's pretty good. Then I remember I was really big on the combines for those couple years. I thought he was going to be way better than this.
Yeah. You know what surprises me about him? You know what is really surprising about Trevor Lawrence? His decision-making is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that he was going to be the guy who didn't read defense well.
It's almost Bobby Hoying-ish.
It's like
somebody has to tell him who to throw it to.
Yeah, like he can't
each coverage.
He can't decipher cover 1 from cover 2 or cover 3.
Yeah.
You know, and that in the NFL, forget the NFL, all levels of football. You can either read defense or you can't. You either know how to pick out man coverage and zone coverage, or you don't. And I'm starting to think now, going into year 4, he just doesn't. He just don't. And it's never going to change. And I don't think he's going to get re-signed.
I don't think
he got
so.
that big contract, which really is only guaranteed for 2 years, this year and next. He's going to be gone, along with Doug Peterson, if this keeps up. You know?
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. The Indianapolis Colts are getting 5 points in Houston. The Colts looked good last week.
They did.
A lot better. Houston lost a tough game last week, but Houston's a good team. This is a tough line, Mike. This one's hard.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take the Colts and the points. Richardson's back too, right?
Richardson is back, but is that a good thing?
Yeah, that's the other part.
Flacco is playing real well.
Yeah, but is he starting?
Richardson is starting.
Richardson is starting. Yeah, I'll take the Colts.
I'm going to go against you on this one. I'm going to take Houston at home. I think they win by more than a touchdown. Now we have a classic. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets will go up to storied New England to play against the crappy, poorly run, now no longer championship caliber New England Patriots.
Caliber.
The Jets, this scares me. For some fucking reason, they're on the road. They've looked like dog shit, and they're 7-point favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a trap game.
You know what?
Taking the Patriots.
Fuck you, Jets. I'm taking the Patriots, too. Because I think the Jets will win the game.
Yeah, by
they're not blowing anybody out. They stink right now. They fucking stink. They'll win just because New England stinks more than they stink.
Yeah, a whole touchdown in New England. They're still nuts up there.
I mean, listen, the Jets beat the dog shit out of them down in the Meadowlands a few weeks ago, right? And it's the only game the Jets look good in. Yeah, fuck Boston. It's the only game that the Jets have looked good in was when they played New England. So maybe they're confident against New England because New England's that bad. But right now, I think the Jets are that bad too. And I think they're that bad because of poor leadership. And I'm hoping that by me betting against them, we'll change them.
Reverse mush?
Yeah, I'm trying to do the reverse mush here. I'm desperate, Mike. I got to try everything at this point, you know? So I'm going to take the Patriots, and I'm going to give the points, thinking the Jets are going to win the game by like 3 or 4 fucking points because they suck. All right? Here we go, another classic. The Philadelphia Eagles, with a 4-2 record and maybe the dumbest head coach in the NFL, will now travel to Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow and the beat-down Bengals, who are trying to save their season. And this is a try-to-save-the-season game for the Bengals.
I know.
And the Eagles, much to my surprise, are only a 2-point favorite.
Only a 2-point favorite.
What does that tell you?
I have them as a 2-point dog on here.
Oh, you're right. They are a 2-point dog. That's even worse.
That's worse.
That's even worse. They're a dog on the road against the team that's 2-5 and has only beaten 2 doormats.
Are we a doormat?
I guess we're going to find out.
Oh, my God. The over-under's 48.
Oh, my God. I got to take the Eagles in the points. I can't believe it. They're this bad. I just can't. I can't believe they're going to go into Cincinnati and that Joe Burrow's crappy offensive line is suddenly going to block for him. I can't believe that they're going to go into Cincinnati and that their crappy defense, who couldn't stop my fucking dog from getting to his food bowl, is going to stop Saquon Barkley from ripping them to shreds. I got to take the Eagles in this. I have to. But that line scares the shit out of me.
I'm going to take the Bengals.
Wow, reverse mush times 2! Times 2!
Playoffs?
Why?
Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
I think here's the thing. I think the blueprint's out there, and this is the game that they have to prove that there's no blueprint.
Wow.
There's not a way to beat the Eagles. That even if they blitz 7 guys, we could get the ball out. And that the defense can cover and not just play bend, don't break the entire time.
I'm going to make you feel better, Mike. Final score, Eagles 35, Bengals 17.
I think it's going to be like
10-9.
17-13. Bengals score late.
I don't think they're going to stop Barkley because the Bengals defense has been
Bengals
bad.
score late in the game and
Wow.
win the game.
All right. Well, I guess we'll find out, huh?
I hate saying it. I really do.
Listen,
I can't. I have to be real.
I just picked the fucking Patriots over the Jets. Don't
Yeah,
tell
true.
me about hating to say something.
That's true.
Don't tell me about hating to say something, okay?
I don't know why I just plugged that in right there.
That team has tortured me since the turn of the fucking century, and I just picked them over my team with a Hall of Fame quarterback on it. You know, so I understand. I get
As
it.
you were, sir. As you were.
Arizona Cardinals at Dolphins, and the rumor is
Who gives a shit?
that Tua is going
Who
to
is
play.
that?
The Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites. Kyler Murray and crew coming in.
I think you are doing it to the worst due diligence by even letting him touch a football again. I think Arizona wins this game. I don't see. I think Tua ends up getting hurt again. Once you get those concussions, that's it.
I'm not going to wish for or say I think he's
I'm
getting
not
hurt
wishing
because
for it.
I don't even want to speak it into existence because the type of injury he's dealing with is life-altering.
That's scary.
It's scary.
It's really scary.
Right.
But at the same time,
But I also think Miami's defense stinks and Kyler Murray's going to run circles around him.
he might very well run circles. That's the other thing.
I'm going to take Arizona in the 3.5 also in
Yeah.
Miami. The Buffalo Bills go to the 12th man, and the Bills are a 3-point road favorite in Seattle.
In Seattle. Trap game. I'm taking Seattle.
I hate to say it, but I agree with you.
They're-
And as a Jet fan, I have to hope for it as well. So I'm going to take.
I would probably even give, like, if it were my book, I'd probably give 5.5.
Yeah, I think that. I think it's really hard to travel across the country.
Yeah.
And play up in that place of all places. And the Bills have been pretty good, but the Seahawks haven't been bad. You know.
Yeah.
I think that. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take Seattle and the 3. I'm going to take Seattle on this. The New Orleans now falling on their face because
What
everybody and their mother is hurt. That team is so injured that it's ridiculous. At the L.A. gimpy-footed Chargers.
That's a piece of shit game right there. Start against the wall with a coin.
7-point favorites, the Chargers in L.A. against the banged-up, no quarterback, New Orleans Saints.
Somebody's got to win the game, right? No, it's not. I'm calling this first. I'm doing this one. I'm calling a tie.
I'm going to say coaching wins. I'm going to take Harbaugh and the Chargers.
You think so, huh? All right. I don't.
He's the better coach.
He is the better coach. Tie.
And the Saints are too banged up to hang, I think.
In
I
fact,
think that Herbert will get enough done.
Lock of the week. I'm throwing $10 on it.
There you go. Here comes a barn burner. A barn burner. The Kansas City Chiefs will go to Las Vegas for hookers and cocaine. Will also be
Who told you there's cocaine there?
But they'll also be giving 10 points to the home team Raiders. And Gardner Minshew, who has now regained the starting job there.
Regained.
Through injury. But it's Pat Mahomes, DeAndre Hopkins, Kelsey, and crew.
And crew. No Pacheco still, though.
No Pacheco, but that line doesn't really matter. I mean,
no. I mean,
someone's going to get 75 yards on the ground for them.
Yeah.
I can't see the Chiefs.
Chiefs, no way that they blow.
The Raiders did beat them once last year. Let's not forget that.
They did. They did with who was it last year? It wasn't Carr. Was it Carr last year?
Oh yeah. No, it was after they benched Carr. It was the rookie.
Was quarterback?
I forget his name, but he's the one that just got hurt, which is why Minshew's starting again.
Okay.
But yeah, it was after they benched Carr when they decided, okay, we're going to be moving on from him.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to go. I'm going to take Kansas City. I'll lay that down.
I really think I should take Kansas City too, but I think that the Raiders have a smart strategy. I think Mark Davis invites in teams like the Chiefs, sends them to the casino, pays a couple of showgirls to do their thing.
Sounds like
keeps them up all night
kind of thing going on over here.
And I think it's going to be a close game just because Mahomes is going to have a hangover. Brittany's not going to know what he did the day before. He's going to feel a little guilty. Travis Kelce's going to be talking about Taylor Swift while some stripper's giving him a blowjob. I mean, these are the things I could see happening. Chiefs will win the game, but it's going to be closer than 10 points, so I'm going to take the Raiders with the points.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy, we got barn burner games all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The mighty Carolina Panthers going to Denver, who sucks. Yet somehow Denver's a 10-point favorite. Explain this to me, Mike. I mean, listen, both of these teams stink.
They're in the mile high, man.
But is Carolina so bad that they should be a 10-point favorite in Denver?
I mean, a 10-point dog, yeah. They are that bad.
I mean, should Denver really be giving 10 points to anybody? If Denver was playing fucking St. Joseph's, I might not give them 10 points.
I'm going to take the Panthers with the points. They're not going to win the game.
I have to take the Panthers with the points, too, just because I think it's absurd that Denver's ever favored by 10 in the current condition of the team.
Yeah.
I think they'll, like you, I think they'll win the game.
Yeah.
I don't see them blowing anybody out, bro. I mean.
I don't see them blow. Yeah. I mean, it's going to – it might – what do they got the over-under for that?
The over-under is 41.5. It's low. It's real low.
I think that's
so it's a 10-point fucking spread, yet the over-under is only 41.5.
Because they're both yeah, I'll take the points, but Denver's going to win the game.
This next game's a good one. They've been looking better. I've been telling you that Caleb Williams is going to figure it out. And the last couple of weeks, he's gotten better and better. Chicago is going to go in somehow as a 2.5-point favorite to Washington. But Daniels is questionable.
That's probably why.
So I'm sure the line is dictated on whether they don't know if he's playing or not. I just think Washington's a better team, man. I got to take the home points. I just think overall, all the way around, defense, line. You listen, even with Heineke playing last week at quarterback, when Daniels got hurt, he didn't look bad. They still blew the other team out.
See, I wouldn't touch this game with a 10-foot pole.
Neither would I.
I feel like the Bears would end up winning on a field goal. You know what I mean? Just to really rub that 2.5 right in your face. Yeah,
I believe in Washington.
I'll take home the home points.
I think you got
it's basically a toss up. I'll take the points on the home team, Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. Now, this is a game that everybody thought was going to be a great game. You know, you look at this on the schedule at the beginning of the year. Wow, the old school rivalry. They've had so many NFC championship games. And
jeez. Yeah, it's a fucking dumpster fire.
But instead, it's two kids on the corner throwing dog shit at each other. That's what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
This should be flexed to 1 o'clock, and they should have to be watching this.
It should be flexed to postpone due to lack of talent. Okay.
Yeah. They
But
should be
nonetheless,
forced to watch this at 9 o'clock in the morning.
We have to watch Dak and 95-year-old Ezekiel Elliott go and play the very overrated and very injured 49ers. And the Niners are a 4-point favorite at home. Listen to me, Mike. Dallas sucks.
They do suck.
I'm going to take the 49ers and the points because Dallas is a fucking dumpster fire. They stink. There's no other way to put it. They can't stop anyone. They can't run the fucking ball. And the one thing the 49ers still have is a pretty good defense.
They do have they got a good defense, but I don't think they have enough to score.
And don't forget, nobody on Dallas's defense is playing. They're all hurt.
Ayuk is out, and Samuels is coming off of pneumonia.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with the Else on the points.
Yeah, I have to take the Niners.
No, I just picked the Else.
Yeah. I don't know how you're doing that. I got to take San Francisco. I don't know how you're doing it. There's just nobody. Dallas, all their best defensive players are hurt. They can't run the fucking ball, and San Fran does have a good defense. So San Fran's going to be able to score against them because there's nobody on the fucking defense. Who's stopping them? Who's stopping? Now, all right.
I think if they had one.
Ayuk is out for the year, right?
Right. I think if they had one of those two guys healthy, it's 49ers in a landslide. The fact that Brock Purdy only has Kittle to throw to now, and he has to throw it to one of the 3, 4, and 5 guy. And Brock Purdy has not looked great already.
No, he hasn't. But Dak has looked worse.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dak stinks. He's always stunk.
And yet you're taking Dallas, you crackhead.
Yeah. I'm going to take Dallas because I think Dallas is just going to end up fucking pulling something off.
Here's a game where I think the line is too low. Monday night, Frank Steelers, who beat the pissing shit out of my Jets, are playing an even worse New York team. Playing the Giants in Pittsburgh. And somehow the line is only 6.5 for Pittsburgh. I'm not even going to discuss this with you. If you pick the Giants, you're a moron.
You're a moron.
I'm taking Pittsburgh and giving the points all day. And it's not even a second goal.
I'm giving more points. I think
I'll give them 12. Yeah, I'll give them 12.
Just to boost the odds up on my parlay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would give 10 or more just to boost the odds. The Steelers win. Wilson Fields combo looks like, the old Drew Brees.
The two things I see in the Steelers that lead to winning teams is they can run the ball and they play defense.
And they can play good defense.
Yep.
The Giants have an offensive line that is similar to the Iraqi Navy.
They have the most overpaid quarterback in the history of the NFL other than Watson.
No receivers.
No running backs. That's not true. They got Malik Neighbors. Neighbors is good.
Who got covered by Brandon Graham last week.
Yes. But your team is also overall. Actually, no, you know what? You're right. Pittsburgh's defense is better. The Giants ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
They ain't
They're
doing
not going to do it. And they don't have a line.
Yeah.
They have no offensive line. Alabama's defensive line could probably rush through.
Though their defensive line is pretty good, they're going to slow down Pittsburgh a little bit. But
the
Giants make too many mistakes. I could see the Steelers win this one going away, 31-10. The Giants can't score.
Right.
I mean,
they get garbage points at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Steelers, and that would completely take my 4. Not only dump it into 4 wins that I predicted at the beginning of the year, dump it into a gasoline, light it on fire, throw it in the napalm. That's the last game the Steelers win the rest of the year.
Yeah, I know. The Jets are finishing 12-5 and winning the division. Yeah,
right.
That's going well for me too. Well, Mike, it's been a good show. Obviously we miss Frank.
Miss Frank a lot, man.
I miss Frank. I wish Frank was here to give me shit. It's funny when the Steelers beat the shit out of the Jets, right? And I didn't get a text or anything from him. I was like, wow, something's wrong. I mean,
listen, you know what this means, though?
Steelers going to win the Super Bowl?
No, let's cut all the bullshit. You got to put on a fucking Steelers jersey.
Oh, fuck. I don't own one.
Good thing there's Amazon.
Wow, fuck you.
the scat.
You're right. I do have to wear it. That was our bet.
Personal service.
But you know what? That was our bet.
That is the
bet.
bet.
My word. I will do it, but I'm going to wait till Frank's healthy enough to give me the jersey
and pick the number.
And pick the jersey he wants me to wear because he deserves that.
Yeah.
So I will pay off that bet properly as soon as we get our friend back.
Sure, absolutely.
So
just a reminder, though.
Frank, when you come out of it and you see this, I just want you to know we were thinking of you through this whole show.
Absolutely.
And congratulations on beating the shit out of the Jets, you scumbag.
And taking my prediction and crushing it before the midway point of the season.
Basically urinating all over that, John. Yeah, get rid of that. So, Frankie, get better. This show has been brought to you by Easy Moving. Easy Moving. Moving is hard. Do it the easy way. Servicing Fairfield, Connecticut, and removal in New York. For Mike, I am Turk. And for Frank, my brother, we love you, brother.
Quick shout out to my boys at Far Northeast, my kids that I coach. 2 wins in a row.
Good job. Way to go, Coach.
Win, we're in the playoffs.
Good job, Coach. I'm proud of you, kid.
Yep.
I'm proud of your kids that you got them going like that. Good for you.
Yep.
And go kick some ass out there. And we will see you next time on the Battle for I-95 podcast. Everybody out there, peace out. Here's one more thing for Frank. Frank, listen.
You can do it. Get that old ass of yours in there. You can do it.
That's right. You can do it. Get that old ass in there. Let's get going. Let's get you back on the show, bro. All right, guys. Everyone have a good one. Mike, hasta la vista.
See ya.